Welcome back everyone. Good to see you again. In this video, we will go to the moon with two different rockets. I decided to launch two rockets, the P#1 and P#2, means project 1 and project 2. And it's only for the better understanding of some values and to know some differences. First, start with a small rocket and I named it P#1, means project 1. We will build this rocket in two parts, lower part and upper part. Start to build the upper part. Parachute and then capsule, heat shield, separator is very important, then fix some fuel tanks, and a Valiant engine. This is the Valiant engine, high efficiency, low thrust, used in space when high thrust isn't a priority. These are parameters of fuel tanks. Now fix the Valiant engine, and then to separate the both parts of the rocket, we have fixed a separator here. And to land on the moon, the landing legs are very important, so we will fix the landing legs. And then fix some fuel tanks for lower part, and will use Hawk engines because of its high thrust. Hawk engine have high thrust and low efficiency, and mainly used in first stage of the rocket. You can see the pyramids of Hawk engine. Oh, oops, it's too heavy for one Hawk engine to make launch, so for that we will fix two more Hawk engines and fuel tanks. The rocket is ready to launch. Okay, turn on the all three Hawk engines, and with full efficiency we will turn on the system. Rocket launched successfully. Now come to our second rocket, the P#2. I have already designed a rocket. You can note easily that I have fixed 7 Hawk engines and many fuel tanks in the lower part of the rocket, but the upper part have the same components, and The different component that I used in the design is aerodynamic nose cone, but I used the wrong type of aerodynamic nose cone, so we will replace the cones with right one. And don't fix a cone beside the separator, because if we fix a cone beside the separator, then we can't separate the lower part of the rocket from the upper part. I think rocket is ready to launch, so move to the pitch. So first turn on all the 7 Hawk engines and full efficiency. Let's lift off the rocket. Hooray! We done it. After the launch of both rockets, I will show you the difference between height and velocity at different levels, like at 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers, common line, and out of liquid fuel moment and onward. So the differences are like, please watch and read the points carefully. This is at 1 kilometer altitude, and the velocity of rocket 1 is 121.3 meter per second, and the velocity of rocket 2 is near 140 meter per second. Move to the next. This is 5 kilometer altitude. The velocity of rocket 1 is 281.6 meter per second, and the velocity of rocket 2 is 318.1 meter per second. Move to the next. At the moment of 10 kilometers altitude, the velocity of rocket 1 is 458.6 meter per second, and the velocity of rocket 2 is 510.8 meter per second. Next we have a 15 kilometer altitude difference. The velocity of rocket 1 is near 423 meter per second, and the velocity of rocket 2 is 687.8 meter per second. Next, this is common line difference. So at the moment, the velocity of rocket 1 is 837 meter per second, and the velocity of rocket 2 is 1158.6 meter per second. Next we have out of liquid fuel difference. So at that moment, the velocity of rocket 1 is 1390.3 meter per second, and the velocity of rocket 2 is 1762.9 meter per second. After these some differences, now we will try to make a safe landing on moon. So I start with the rocket 1 and separate the lower part of the rocket, then turn on the valiant engine to move forward and will destroy the lower part. Basically, to make an encounter in the sphere of the influence of the moon, first we will reach the height of the moon orbit. Okay, we have the maximum height with respect to the velocity. So to reach there, we will accelerate the time. We reached at the height but didn't make encounter in the sphere of influence. So for that we will change the direction of the rocket to the left and let's see what happens. You can see the changing the orbit of a rocket is increasing. Yes, we have the encounter point, and now try to touch the surface of the moon. Coming near. And here we touch the surface, and to make a smooth landing I will set the encounter point and escape point closer to each other. Now I will show you some known places on the moon. There are 5 known places. To save our time, I am accelerating the time. We have the entry, and it's time for the second rocket to enter in the sphere of influence. Separate the lower part and try to reach the height of the orbit of the moon. Destroy the lower part, start the valiant engine. Great, we have encounter point early as compared to the project 1, and it's because the moon is nearer than first attempt. And now follow the same process to enter in the sphere of influence. Finally we are in. come to the project 1. The velocity is too high to make a safe landing, and to slow down the rocket we will change the direction of the rocket up to approximately 180 degree. For your information, please note that the height of the moon atmosphere is 5 km. Before change the direction of the rocket, we put the efficiency level at 0, and now we have increased the level of efficiency to decrease the velocity. We are at the same height of the common line. We are near to the atmosphere. We are in the moon's atmosphere. You can note that there are two velocities are showing on the screen. One is downward velocity and second is sideward velocity. For the safe landing, we will open the landing legs, and also the sideward velocity of the rocket should be close to the 0. Slowly, slowly, slowly. The sideward velocity is less than 1. Yes, finally landed on the moon. Let's see the project number 2, and you are noticing a capsule on the surface of the moon, and I think you can understand that the capsule on the surface of the moon is of our first rocket, the project 1. And to make a safe landing, again we will follow the previous method, and for your information, we are unable to use parachute in the atmosphere of the moon. Yes, we are in the atmosphere of the moon, and to decrease the sideward velocity, we will change the direction of the rocket, and then come to the previous position. At the moment, we are at the height of 1 kilometer from the moon. It's time to open the landing legs. $600 are remaining. The velocity of the rocket is 33 downward velocity. The sideward velocity of this rocket is lesser than the first rocket. Upward velocity, downward velocity. Oops. Okay, we have landed on the surface of the moon. That's all, my friend. Wait. I think you have a little confusion in the last that if parachute don't work on the moon, then why I fixed it? It's because we will go back to our home, the earth, and there for a safe landing, parachute is very important thing. Now that's all. Okay, see you in our next video. Tata, and thank you for watching our video.